welcome to our people who are joining us via our web link in New York, especially Medgar Evers College, who I understand have set up a link in an auditorium with students. They actually had joined us for Sankofa in 2014. So we say welcome to Barbados, to Coolidge and Parry School, facilitated by the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill Campus, Department of Government, Sociology and Social Work. In Chicago, we say welcome to students from Project Osmosis and students from the Hyde Park Career Academy. For Jamaica's audience, right now we have Church's Teachers College in the house. Again, we welcome individuals, my family members who are joining us from the web stream, and everyone else. This is a wonderful day. We're going to have a great conference. And with that, I want to bring our Executive Director of the Institute of Jamaica, Ms. Anne-Marie Bonner, to give us some greetings.
Good morning, Chicago.
Good morning.
Barbados, welcome. We're very happy to have you on this year, and welcome to the participants in Jamaica. From the look of the program, you're going to have a very exciting day as usual. I'm sorry I won't be here for the Beyonce transformation video, which should be very exciting. But I wish you all a good day, and I hope you will have a very stimulating and engaging morning. Thank you very much.
Vernon, would you like to bring greetings from Chicago?
We really would like to thank the Hyde Park Academy, Ms. McGee, Richard Blackman, Elijah Wan, the whole staff and crew here for really helping us to put this together here in Chicago, Illinois. And Donna, we're so excited to be a part of the whole program. So we look forward to it. Raymond Thomas is here. And I'd also like to thank our staff and supporters with Project Osmosis.
From Barbados, Dr. Tennyson Joseph will ask you to bring a welcome.
Let me just say thank you very much to Liberty Hall and the organizers for inviting us at UWE Cable to participate in such an important event. Let me also say good morning to my brothers and sisters in Jamaica and in Illinois, and say that our students here with the College of Public School are very, very happy to be here.
So we have a short skit that will sort of put everything together. This is a group called Articulate, and they are amazing. When I saw them in operation, I thought, yeah, I need to have them. So I'm going to invite Articulate to come and do the short skit, after which I will sort of give you a short overview and context of why we're here today.
You pay your light bill! You pay your light bill! Everybody like this. Pepper! She blackie! I thought our big stadium ball behind them would have big enough to brighten up the place. But no, just there, big, worthless. Big worthless, black worthless, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I am black and I love it. I love myself. Again. I am black and I love it. I love myself. Yes, Diana. No.
Go and make them know, say, yes, you're black. And you love it. Love it.
Okay, so how was that? I hope Chicago and Barbados understood what was going on there.
Feel like a browning, them a peach. When I pitch out the skin, them a peach. Feel like a browning, them a peach.
It is an established fact that the African Holocaust of colonialism and its aftermath have distorted the psyche of black people, especially those living in poverty. This damage is expressed in various forms, one of the most degrading being the process of skin bleaching.
Do you think that people who bleach have a problem with their identity?
Like their face is white and their body is black, then that's the time they overdo it. And that's the time I think they have a problem with their identity.
A popular Jamaican proverb says, anything too black no good. In other words, anything that is too black is not good.
Yes, I agree with people about this that there's no way we can get rid of it.
Will need to raise their consciousness in order to change this false perception. They are the ones who will have to draw the line beyond which it is unsafe to push the rubbings, or foaming, or bleaching for that matter. But the dangers posed by skin bleaching are only averted when the linkages among ugliness, social disadvantage, and blackness on the one hand, and brownness, youth, and privilege on the other are removed, and a society based on equality and social justice is constructed.
What's going on? This whole conversation is about self-identity. It's about our own blackness. And when you look across the globe, there's black on black crime, not only here in Chicago, but in Kingston, Jamaica, it's just as bad. In Barbados, it's just as bad. But one of the things that we all have in common is that we were all taken from our homeland and basically put in these drop zones and forced to really live in cultures, primarily British culture, that's not of our own originality. And so what this whole Sankofa project is about is forming a dialogue with our brothers and sisters across the globe to really talk about blackness and self-identity. Here in Chicago, just like in Kingston, Jamaica, it's a huge problem with black on black crime, especially with young black people killing and shooting one another, not valuing life. And so we actually just got back from Kingston, Jamaica recently, and we had this conversation with Donna McFarland, and actually while I was in Kingston, there was a couple of shootings that took place, and a couple of young people lost their lives. So sometimes we think that we're only dealing with something in our own box, but this is a universal problem when it comes to black people in taking pride and valuing our own lives. But it starts with valuing our skin color. In many cultures, what you saw in the presentation, a lot of individuals are actually, especially in Jamaica, bleaching their skin to look lighter. So literally bleaching their skin to get better jobs, or viewing themselves as more economically acceptable by being lighter skinned. But really, when you think about it, that's something that we faced here in the US too. Even when you look at advertisements and you look at products and things like that, in many cases, the lighter or the fairer your skin is, the more privileged you may be considered. Although I believe that's a stereotype now in our culture that we're dispelling. In other countries and other places of the earth, it's a real big problem. And so that's what this whole project is about in this conversation. So seeing individuals across the globe that look like ourselves, that really are, that we're one and the same. And literally, we're trying to identify with our original culture. So that's
Yes, you hear those things. You hear people calling them Bantutos, Bush, Butu. But the thing, I think we're missing the point. Even though you're being called this, it's how you classify yourself that counts. Yes, some of us are white, yes, some of us are brown, yes, some of us are black. But the point still remains self-consciousness. So if we're being teased or being called black, it's how you put it. And yes, the song says white as snow or to become pure. White is a good color, black is also a good color. Being white is good, being black is good, but it's how you put it. If you accept it, then nobody else can defy you that. But if you make people believe that, okay, alright, you're black, so shouldn't import that, they're going to keep consistently treating you as that. But if we as a nation, as a universe, come together and say, alright, fine, they're black, but they have this strong dignity, they're intelligent, they're intellectual, then they're going to have to look up to us. They're going to see that we are on the same level. Not that we have a different color, but our mindsets are the same. I think that's what counts.
Hello, my name is Melissa. The point of, people is Black Lives Matter because everybody who seems to downgrade black, they have a system of low self-esteem, not being accepted into everybody's eyes. That's so the reason mainly if somebody think of, oh, you black, you not being really accepted to everyone. You want to be accepted to everyone, so you bring yourself down or try to bring yourself to a level where you can be accepted. And not everybody don't think about being accepted just for themselves. They're thinking about being accepted for the next person or whoever's the best, or they can make themselves better in life.
But in our minds, Africa is still a dark, and they also say animal. It's full of animals. So it's something that we have to, as teachers, begin to wrap our brains around to teach our children. The next question I ask, usually girls, is how many of you have dolls? And they go, yeah. And then I ask, how many of you have white dolls? Most of them do. How many of you have black dolls? Some do. But when I ask the question, which of the dolls is the most beautiful?
So if you're from a home where that is not reinforced, then you won't believe that you're black and ugly. You believe that you're black and beautiful. But regrettably, we don't have those forces in the home reasserting that because people don't see that in the reality. I was saying to my colleague here earlier that I remember years ago in Jamaica, the Sunday headline was Browning's Fleas. Yeah. And it was in response to companies telling organizations that from the National Training Institute Brownings at their front desk. And some people may stop and say, well, it's just a front desk, but at the end of the day, it's an entrance, right? And some people, that's all they need, an opportunity to enter, to grow. And what that means is that if the company buys into that, then it means that because of your skin tone, you're not being given an opportunity.
And this is about love. I want everybody to stand up. Stand up, everybody. Everybody, Jamaica, Barbados, stand up. Yeah, I know you all full from eating, stand up. I want everybody to say with a loud voice, I love my blackness. My blackness. I love my blackness. My blackness. I love my blackness. My blackness. All right, that's how we're gonna do this. So, this first slide, the slides are kind of going kind of slow. This is a logo design I did for a film that I was a part of. And this, John Batiste and your President Barack Obama. So what I try to do with my art, I try to show the humanness of who we are. I think a lot of times we talked about today creating a kind of narrative in visuals. So I think a lot of times we talk about white Jesus and things like that. So what I try to do is create a kind of narrative with my work. And this is a little design I did of a postcard. We see the black Santa Claus, okay?
Dr. Joseph?
One of the things that we are dealing with here in Barbados is that we have come out of nearly 300 years of slavery. And we have fought of the independence by around 1950 or so for independence. So today, this year, Barbados is about to celebrate 50 years of independence. Now, my friends from the USA would assume that if we are celebrating 50 years of independence and going to talk to Barbados in our country to a black country, it's largely over 80% African, perhaps over 90% African. And this year, the Barbados government is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Put out a little promotional video. And in that video, the government made a statement that Barbados is the freest black country in the world. The official classical music is Ethiopian. The official wear, the official dress is European dress. And the amendment says that we have to engage in a battle of space. And that battle of space is fought in our mind and in our heart. It is fought in the cultural sphere, in which, although the official realm is European, and we have the strength and capacity to fight our own battles for space in the cultural sphere.
Good day, everyone.
Hello.
I need to say that the idea that somehow black skin was inferior and the texture of certain type of hair inferior, it was not a thing that was always around us. It was taught. It was learned over centuries of absolute brutality and deprivation and other forms of prejudices. And today we talk about them as if they are really normative. They are part of our natural way of living now, and many of us see nothing wrong with that. But we were taught these things. Many of us conception of beauty, we learned that along the way. Like me. For many people of African descent, freedom meant escaping from themselves, from their obscurity, their invisibility, from their ugliness, their strangeness, their primitiveness, their unsophisticatedness, and indeed from their irrational state of aesthetic existence. And if you are in the bottom part of that scale, then what you need to do is to get some beauty. As these women of high visibility and men. That's Diana Ross. This is the same person there. That's the same person. Same person. Same person. Right? That is so. And these are some of the problems with bleaching.
What happens?
Chicago, Barbados, Jamaica. Comments, questions?
So what y'all gonna do about this? Like, how y'all gonna try to change this?
That's the question. Good question.
Yes, there are many. I've explained one. We black people need to be visible where everybody else is visible in all their natural glory and aesthetic creation and creativity of themselves. Movies, glossy magazines. If we look at Essence, they are black magazines. They promote white aestheticism. White people need not do it again in 17 and cosmopolitan.
Our medical fraternity will put out statements on Zika and chikungunya and so forth.
Yes.
But we have our states. Do not allow to teach help more to populations that are doing that kind of damage themselves. So I also feel our organized state institutions have a responsibility as well.
Precisely. And in schools, when training teachers, that we train them so they can interface with our young people differently from many who are now interfacing with them. My daughter recently was told not to come back. She's 12. Not to come back to school looking like that. Because she wore her hair naturally in a particular style. She's not to come back to school looking like that. My niece was told that she must go home and do something to her hair. Why do you have students there who are wearing people's hair bought from Brazil and other places to make themselves look good? Because in our space, there's a view that you're not beautiful if you don't look that way. And you won't get to the man. And during from the other side too, that's why it's so tough. I mean, this man's so sad. But it's clear that something is wrong up here. But we don't talk about it, you know. As you said, Joseph, as you said, there are things that we talk about. If there's the chickpeas thing coming, we have public discussion about it.
To you, what is black identity? Like, what do you think black identity is?
To be white. And if I say it doesn't mean that I hate white people. I don't. I have perfect love for humanity. And we should learn the best from all of humanity. The best, not the worst. Certainly, there are certain things that happen not because it's our fault, but because of something befallen black people over centuries. It's not our fault.
So is that what you think black
Keep on bear the burden of that. That identity means different things in different local. But generally, it should mean that we don't have to desecrate ourselves because somehow we don't look good. With the eyes that we use to see ourselves in the mirror, they are not our eyes. All I'm calling for is for us to be able to see ourselves with our own eyes and as the basis of constructing our identities, our ontological complex, as we say in philosophy. And there are many, many examples. That's why we have Marcus Garvey.
Excuse 1 second. Just want to say one thing. I really want to know what. I mean, we've heard the adults on some of these matters, but I really want to know what, for example, the young people in Barbados think about what we were discussing about their self-identity from their point of view. So, can we hear from a couple of the youngsters and the students in Barbados, as well as yeah, so we're very curious to hear what you all have to say, what you think about this.
Okay, morning. I believe that I believe that your identity is constituted by your beliefs, this way of life, same as culture. Your norms and values that you grew up with, it impacts the way you behave throughout life and whatever you do. So your identity or the way you define yourself, it's always based on how you are groomed.
For me, I like my black skin. I'm actually very proud of my black skin. But I have numerous friends who bleach. And when you say to them, why do you bleach? Well, growing at the in thing now, some do it for fashion, some do it because they naturally do not like the black skin, or they believe that they are prettier, or they are more people see them when they are brown. And
it's really hard. Some nowadays, being a black person, being just naturally black and not doing well, they say, I have cream hair. I believe, my hair is processed. I believe that, well, it's harder to handle kinky hair, but times are changing and people are embracing black nowadays than it was before, but there is still the point of children nowadays just bleaching because it's a style, or again because they think it's making them more beautiful.
You know, and some of us came to Mississippi, but we all began in Africa. And one of the prominent and predominant African beliefs and ethics is a belief in a respect for your elders. And one of the things that I want to make real clear in this conversation is that we're losing that respect for our elders. And we have to be very careful about that because they've been where we're headed. They've been where we've already gone. I was talking with my young people about the first day I was in law school, having a jerry curl, you know, and these leather pants on, and standing on the steps of the University of Notre Dame Law School and saying, this ain't gonna work. And so I had to go and get my hair cut, and get a white shirt, and get a red tie, and get gray pants and a blue blazer, because that was the outfit of an attorney. Not a jerry curl down to my shoulders. That was not the outfit that you wear into court. And so part of what we have to do, and I think that Dr. Du Bois talks about this very clearly, we have to be able to live in two worlds. We live in two worlds. We live in the greater, grander, larger society, but we also have our own culture, our own beliefs, our own values that make us who we are. And that is the reason that this conference for me is so powerful, is because young people from different parts of the planet can begin to dialogue about what it means to be African, what it means to be proud to be African. We are a proud people. We were not always slaves. We were kings and queens. We built the first universities. We started science. We started mathematics. That is the conversation that I think leads us back to, and it's this idea of Sankofa with regard to discovering our real identity, our real self.
A huge thanks to Mr. Richard Blackman of Hyde Park Career Academy. We weren't going to be able to do it. Mr. Blackman just jumped in and made it possible. So thank you so much for that. From all participating institutions for agreeing to participate in this program and for understanding that self-identity is an important issue that permeates all of our lives. I encourage all of us, well, I hope the questionnaires are completed and we collected them. I want to again thank Visual Tech for their super professional work, 4 years in a row, helping us to work through our technical issues and for ensuring that we have a clear, interactive conversation. For those of you who are following the web stream, I thank you for being involved and for putting your questions forward. I hope we were able to take some of them. But I definitely want to thank the staff of Liberty Hall, who did everything in their power to make this happen. And while doing that, understanding my own anxiety throughout the process. I thank you all. I thank you, John. I thank you, everybody, for the work that you have done. We do it every year, and we hope to do it again. And we're going to work out whatever the kinks were that didn't fill this room. Because last year the room was full. The year before that, the room was full. I don't know if it was our election that did it or what, but we will again work on that. But thank you so much. And I know for Illinois, they're an hour ahead of us. Yeah, and Barbados is 2 hours.
That's why they put it.
And Barbados is an hour behind us. So although our times are different, we really got a chance to do this. And hands across the diaspora, that's what we have to do. And we can use the technology to realize that we're all suffering, as well as enjoying some of our same things. Maybe that's what we do. We'll big up ourselves and talk about all the wonderful things that we're doing, instead of all the bad things that are happening to us. Thank you so much for everything.